Hello. Oh, there we go. All right, let's go ahead and get the meeting started. Welcome to our Risk Management Committee meeting. Can we go ahead and do roll call?
Trustee Haran,
Here.
Trustee Dukowski, and Trustee Wah.
Here.
And is anyone signed up for public comment at this time?
Not at this time.
All right, item number 3, do we have a motion to accept the proposed agenda?
So moved.
We have a second?
Second.
All right. All right, and let's go ahead and get us started with new business. Item 4A. Discussion and possible committee action regarding the appointment of a broker of record for the district's property and casualty insurance coverage.
Good evening, everyone. John Vino, General Services Director for the record. The current appointment for the district's broker of record for property casualty insurance expires on July 14th, 2024. A request for qualifications for broker of record was advertised in the Review Journal. It was posted on the district's website, emailed to minority chambers of commerce, as well as listed on NGEM, the Nevada Government e-marketplace. We received a total of 4 bids, 4 submittals, and an evaluation committee comprising representatives from general services, financial services, library operations performed the evaluation process. The evaluation process included scoring and ranking for each responsive submittal based on established criteria and assigned weighted values to identify the preferred broker to be recommended for appointment. The evaluation criteria and weighted values included broker qualifications and experience, 30%, local office qualifications, 25%, access to insurance markets, 13%, service quality, 12%, risk management services, 10%, premium cost control strategies, 5%, references 3%, and just the overall quality and completeness of their RFQ was 2%. We received 4 bids. USI scored 866, Levin Insurance 818, the Alera Group was 732, and Branch Insurance Group was 728. USI Insurance ranked highest overall and has been selected for recommendation for appointment. The selected firm has demonstrated the most comprehensive and advantageous combination of qualifications and experience desired by the district. The broker of record receives no direct remuneration from the district. Remuneration is received from the insurance companies in the form of commissions. Staff is asking for a motion to authorize staff to bring forward to the full Board of Trustees an appointment of USI as broker of record for property insurance and casualty insurance for the policy year to begin July 15th, 2024, and to authorize staff to extend the appointment to subsequent years, subject to broker continuing to meet performance standards as outlined in the request for qualification documents, subject to review for council. Just as a matter of transparency, USI is our current broker of record and has been for some time. 2017, they switched from Wells Fargo and became USI. We did do a complete independent evaluation regardless that they were our existing broker of record. They just stood out. I think it was a unanimous decision. They have over 10,000 industry leading professionals, over 200 offices. They have 2 offices here within the state of Nevada. I think what really sets them apart is they have over 100 current other libraries that they perform broker of record services for. So with that being said, happy to answer any questions. I do have Jennifer Fry here, who's been our long-term representative for USI, to answer any questions for this agenda item or the next.
Madam Chair, I would move to recommend to the Board of Trustees to appoint USI as a broker of record for property and casualty insurance coverage to the policy year commencing on July 15th, 2024, and authorize staff to extend the appointment in subsequent years, subject to the broker continuing to meet the performance standards outlined in the request for qualifications document, subject to review by council.
Do we have a second?
I'll second that.
Mr. Chairman, I did have a question. Madam Chair.
Please.
That way it saves me time from asking. If I can have the broker real quick,
What's that?
the broker.
Sure.
Good afternoon, Felipe Ortiz for the record.
Hi.
I'm looking at page 5 and basically it lists the amount of full-time and part-time employees
Mhm.
and the board members. The question for the broker for you is that if that number grows, does our insurance grow or do we have the same insurance cost? If for
No.
some reason we get another 100 employees, we won't get another 100 employees, but if for some
Sure.
reason theoretically,
No, your premiums are set for the year. So
until the following.
correct, then it's re-underwritten each year.
Okay, so the numbers are just as an example, the price is the price.
Correct.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Madam Chair. I'm satisfied.
Thank you.
Okay, we had the motion on the floor and the second. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
All right, and our next agenda item, discussion and possible committee action regarding a report from the district's broker regarding recommendation for contract award for property and casualty insurance and public officials and employment practices liability insurance for the policy year commencing on July 5th, 2024.
The district's property and casualty insurance, public officials and employment practices liability insurance policies renew July 15th. USI Insurance Services broker of record conducting a thorough review of the district's current policies and coverages and has prepared a proposed package insurance recommendation for contract award. The Board of Trustees Risk Management Committee is scheduled to meet with the broker of record prior to the board meeting for presentation of the broker's proposal and to discuss staff's review and recommendations for contract award. The Risk Management Committee will bring forward a recommendation for contract award to the Board of Trustees on June 13th. So we do have a motion to recommend to the Board of Trustees that a contract for property casualty insurance and public officials, employee practices, liability insurance be awarded through USI Insurance Services to Travelers, Obsidian Specialties, Chubb Federal, Benchmark, Lloyd's of London, Great American, Indian Harbor, Global Aerospace, and Atlantic Specialties at an annual premium not to exceed $479,097 for the policy year commencing July 15th, 2024, subject to final review of council. I'll answer any questions you have, but It is a little bit of an increase from over, we've been averaging 7 to 8% increases. And then this is a 14% increase, which was a combination of just plain insurance. But we had to increase our insured values on not only our properties, which jumped from, it didn't jump, it moved up about 12% from, we were paying $393 square foot for new construction or replacement of our properties to about $4.25. So that was one of the increases. We had some new vehicles that the board approved earlier this year. So we went from some 20-year-old vehicles to brand new vehicles. So the valuation of some of our assets went up. And then I think we just see that it's the increase in inflation. The market itself from 2019, the general liability market from 2000 to 2024 has shown about a 52% increase in general policy increases. We're still averaging 11% increase over that same period. So we had some years where it was 7% and 8%. This year it is 14%. It is budgeted. We anticipated 12. So we do have this, and the board has approved in the current fiscal year enough money to cover this particular increase. We added a few things. You'll see there's an aerospace insurance policy to cover drones. We're doing some drone coverage and photography this, in the coming year over some events. So we wanted to cover liability for that. So that was in there. We increased our cyber crime liability. We carry heavy, and some of the increase is in our umbrella. We've always carried $20 million in umbrella liability. What we're seeing in the market is obviously insurance companies are trying to really limit their exposure. And if we were to try to switch or even go away from the 20 million liability as our umbrella, we probably wouldn't be able to pick it up anywhere else or even get it back from Travelers. So I do pay a premium. I think it's $15,000 extra to go from 15 to 20. We've always carried that extra 5 million. We have always thought that that was appropriate. So that is one of the reasons we're paying a little more. We carry a little more in flood and earthquake insurance, a 15 and a 25 $1 million policies for those. When we looked at Philadelphia insurance, the max they would offer us in those two categories was $5 million each. So it is one of the reasons we stay with Travelers, or at least try to negotiate with Travelers, so that we're kind of grandfathered in on our limits. I'm concerned that we wouldn't be able to maintain those limits, or it would be extraordinarily expensive to reinstate those with a different carrier in the future. We did go back to Travelers. They came in a little higher than the number we're proposing. We went back and forth a little bit. They gave us a $15,000 discount based on some of the items we were able to show them with our budget and other things. So it's slightly decreased, but it is a 14% increase over last year. But I think just on the market and everything that's going on, it's a fair market quote for the insurance that a library our size carries. As I mentioned, like before, Jennifer is here to answer any specific policy questions you might have, or if I can offer more detail, I'll be happy to.
Madam Chair, I did have one question. I'm sorry, the committee first.
Yeah, the only question I had was regarding the unmanned aircraft, which you answered.
I know you guys
Yes,
would see that, so I just thought I'd
was
throw
hung
that
up
out
on
there.
that, and
It's not very
should
expensive,
have known what
but
it was for, but I didn't.
just when we just thought we would carry $600 to have that liability.
Right.
It doesn't carry damage to structures, so if it hits our building, but God forbid, it has general liability for any other accidents that might happen.
Perfect. Are
So
there
I
any
wasn't
other
the only one that
questions?
looked
You
at that and thought, what
We're
is
not
this?
We're not launching rockets as far as I know yet.
What are they up to? Unmanned spacecraft liability. All right.
I don't have
Other
any
questions.
Madam Chair, I did have a quick question actually for the broker.
Sure.
So thinking ahead, as technology got better, we had to insure for cyber attacks. Then we
Mhm.
went to holding us hostage. I would ask that you be prepared for next year when you submit a bid to look at artificial intelligence. Are there a lot of claims there? Do we need to be insured down the road, or is it a nothing burger by that time? So
Yeah.
just be prepared for next year as artificial intelligence has been turned loose. What does that look for organizations like ours as far as liability?
I think
I'm
we're
not
s-
asking for next year. I think about it for next year.
Okay,
Yeah, for
okay,
next year, yeah.
okay,
Because there might not be any claims now, but I think next year there'll probably be some claims.
sure. And it's such a new space, that we're really not seeing any claims there yet.
Mhm.
But, where where liability, where exposure follows, there's going to be claims,
Okay, so
no doubt. Yep.
next year.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yes, you got it.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
I did forget, I usually report to the board at this time that right now we have no active claims. Within the last year, we've only had one claim within the last 2 years, and that was the Mount Charleston flood. We were reimbursed for all expenses related to the building, all the new carpet and paint that had to be completed in that building. Not for the outside, but at least for the building, we got something, so.
Maybe you could talk to the school district about reopening Mount Charleston.
Outside, is not a covered improvement to the property, so it's not covered under our insurance.
Madam Chair, I move to recommend to the Board of Trustees that a contract for property and casualty insurance and public officials and employment practice liability insurance be awarded through USI Insurance Services, Travelers, Obsidian Specialty, Chubb Federal Benchmark, Lloyd's of London, Great American Indian Harbor, Global Aerospace, and Atlantic Specialty at an annual premium not to exceed $479,097 for the policy year commencing on July 15 to 2024, subject to final review by council.
Do we have a second?
I'll second. Thank you.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. See you all at 5. We get to do it all over again. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And Ebony, is there anyone for public comment before we close?
No, we do not.
Okay,
I move to adjourn.
beautiful. Second. All right, and we are adjourned. Thank you.